foreign aid package that passed quietly during the Super Bowl contains language that would impeach Trump if he were to end the Ukraine war. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Unwoke Thoughts. Today, we are talking about this massive foreign aid package that passed quietly while you were watching the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs play in the Super Bowl yesterday. And this is a tweet by Representative Andy Biggs. He said, on Super Bowl Sunday, the Senate quietly held a procedural vote and advanced a $95 billion foreign aid package. $60 billion of that goes to Ukraine. Guess how much goes to our southern border? Zero. The DC cartel is at it again. Yes. Guys, I made a video about this yesterday, and I mentioned it in a video Saturday as well. They had a border bill. Well, they called it a border bill. It was a bill that they slapped the title of border bill on it because they wanted to pass these billions of dollars to go overseas to countries that are not the United States, of course. And then when they realized that they weren't going to agree on these border provisions because they were horrible and codified into law, illegal immigration, they decided that, instead of trying to work that out, do something that helps our own country, they were just going to do what they want to do all along, and that was just to pass these billions of dollars to go overseas, and who knows where all that money goes to. But guys, when you get into this bill, the language gets really crazy, including some language that would impeach Donald Trump if he were to end the Ukraine war. Surprise, surprise, they are playing their dirty tricks again. But before we get into that, guys, my favorite senator in the United States, Senator Rand Paul, once this bill passed, he was one of the lone dissenters. He was the most vocal dissenters on this bill. And I played a clip for you yesterday that had him excoriating this bill, talking about how we do not need to be sending money overseas, billions of dollars overseas, and trying to come to a deal overseas about these billions of dollars when our own border is wide open. Why did we take the border out of this bill? At the very least, we should consider that before considering these other countries, right? Because this is our own country we're talking about, correct? But once this bill was passed, Rand Paul, he went on a tirade against the bill. And this is what he had to say. Listen to this.
Open the champagne, pop the cork. The Senate Democrat leader and the Republican leader are on their way to Kiev. They've got $60 billion they're bringing. I don't know if it'll be cash in pallets, but they're taking your money to Kiev. Now, they didn't have much time, really no time and no money to do anything about our border. We're being invaded. A literal invasion's coming across our border. 800,000 people came illegally in the last month, and all they had time to do in the Senate was get the money, get the cash pallets, load the planes, get the champagne ready, and fly to Kiev.
Yes, guys, they took out the border, and of course, all they cared about the entire time, surprise, was billions of dollars going overseas. That who knows where it all goes towards. Unaccountable money just flying everywhere. Pop the champagne, guys. Yes, Ukraine. They have yet another victory from our United States Senate, and our border just continues to be wide open, and Americans continue to suffer while our leaders work through the weekend, through the Super Bowl, watching the Super Bowl while the Senate is in session. Such hard workers they are, getting their hands all dirty, getting calloused up, writing legislation that would send billions of dollars overseas. Wow. You just gotta love it. You just gotta love their work ethic, right? It is impressive how much they work so hard to send our money anywhere but the United States. But guys, this bill is actually even more disastrous than we thought. This is a memo from J.D. Vance, and he took a deep dive into this bill. And you guys want to pay attention to this. This is very important. This is wild. When I saw this, I was like, I have to tell everybody. And he said, I just sent the below memo to every one of my Republican colleagues in Congress. Buried in the bill's text is an impeachment time bomb for the next Trump presidency. If he tries to stop funding the war in Ukraine, we must vote against this disastrous bill. But guys, right here is this memo, and I'm going to read it for you. Listen to this. This is insanity. So the Ukraine supplemental includes a hidden impeachment clause against President Trump. Background. So this is the memo that he wrote. Okay, so he did his research. So he has this all structured out. President Trump was wrongfully impeached by the partisan Pelosi-led House of Representatives on December 18, 2019. At the core of the impeachment was a pause on funds appropriated to Ukraine. $391 million in security assistance, $250 million through the Department of Defense, Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative, and $141 million through the State Department's Foreign Military Financing Program, okay? And it goes on. The false argument put forward by the Democrats is as follows. Listen. As President Trump had allegedly paused these funds because he wished to see the corrupt nexus between the Biden family and Ukraine investigated, President Trump had abused his power, this is what they're saying, with the aim of interfering with the U.S. presidential election. Page 425 of the committee report on the first impeachment states, quote, the president froze military assistance to Ukraine against U.S. national security interests over the objections of career experts. The impeachment inquiry report states, the president did so despite the longstanding bipartisan support of Congress, uniform support across federal departments and agencies for the provision to Ukraine of the military assistance, and his obligations under the Impoundment Controls Act. The supplemental impeachment time bomb, here it is, right here. President Trump has said in regard to the war in Ukraine, we got to get that war settled, and I'll get it settled. He stated that he would resolve the war in 24 hours. Yeah, that's because Donald Trump does not want to be at war. Why would anybody want to be at war? Why does it seem like anytime Democrats get in office, war becomes an absolute necessity? And they get us all in arms and they want to talk about sending billions of dollars overseas to these wars that we must fight for democracy, to save democracy in these poor nations. Why? You got to ask yourself that. The bill includes $1.6 billion for foreign military financing in Ukraine and $13.7 billion for the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative. These funds expire on September 30th of 2025, nearly a year into the possible second term of President Trump. These are the exact same accounts President Trump was impeached for, pausing in December 2019. So they're putting this language in this bill that is trying to set the stage for another possible impeachment of Donald Trump. Every single House Republican voted against this impeachment resolution. This is the last page of this memo. If President Trump were to withdraw from or pause financial support for the war in Ukraine in order to bring the conflict to a peaceful conclusion, quote, over the objections of career experts, yeah, because that's who we vote into office, right, guys? Career experts. So what are you saying? That they're saying that the president has to be beholden to career experts? They're trying to put strings on Donald Trump in this bill to try to make him a puppet. And if he steps out of line, guess what? Clink, they got him. It would amount to the same fake violations of budget law from the first impeachment under markedly similar facts and circumstances. Partisan Democrats would seize on the opportunity to impeach him once again. The Washington Post has reported that tying President Trump's hands on foreign policy is very much top of mind for Biden administration officials who are openly boasting about their plans. So they want this to be a perpetual thing, no matter who is in office, no matter who opposes it. They want to make sure that your money, billions of dollars, your collateral, you as collateral, the United States and the United States citizen as collateral, they want to make sure that your money perpetually goes to foreign countries. The background quote is damning. Listen to this. Not incidentally, a U.S. official said the hope is that the long-term promise, again, assuming a congressional buy-in, will also future-proof aid for Ukraine. They want perpetual aid to Ukraine. They want perpetual war. That's what they want. Perpetual money. The war machine marches on forever against the possibility that former President Donald Trump wins his re-election bid. So they're hedging their bets here, guys. They're hedging their bets. These dirty, dirty Democrats. And not just Democrats. No. These dirty, dirty Senate GOP Republicans. Rhinos. Uniparty members. They are traitors to our democracy, to our republic, rather. Conclusion, the supplemental represents an attempt by the foreign policy blob/deep state to stop President Trump from pursuing his desired policy, and if he does so anyways, to provide grounds to impeach him and undermine his administration. All Republicans should oppose its passage. So these Senate Democrats and Rhino Republicans, these deep state stooges, are writing into legislation language that would bind and tie the hands of Donald Trump in order to perpetually send money overseas to Ukraine. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think of this massive spending bill that used to have border provisions attached to it? What do you guys think of that? And then they repackaged it. They're putting it back together. They're trying to turn all these knobs. And they're saying, well, but what happens if Donald Trump becomes president and he decides that he wants to stop funding Ukraine? What happens there? What happens if he tries to veto this? We have to write into this legislation language that ties his hands and that prevents him from doing so to some capacity. What do you guys think about that? Let me know what you think about this down below in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.